The restaurant of death. See, just like a restaurant, many so-called believers go into locations to eat, to learn doctrines of death. The signs are on the outside. Come on in. We have a special today. See, these places, which are in every neighborhood, just like some restaurants, they appear to be on the outside very clean, very sanitary, but they are filthy. See, just like a restaurant has to pass the health department, they don't pass the word of God. They don't pass his inspections of holiness, righteousness, and cleanliness, and sanctification, and what is pure. Many of our people continue to go in and eat at these places, just like a Waffle House, a Burger King, a McDonald's, a Taco Bell, a White Castle. Many continue to go into restaurants and eat food to satisfy their flesh. The restaurant of death, the food is to die for. This is the teaching on tonight, and we're going to get into it. And I'm going to paint you an illustration that you should not forget. And let's get started on tonight. Pick me up at 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 13. And it reads, Then certain of the people were so forward, so crooked, so disobedient, herein that they went to the king. They went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Now watch this. Gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Now watch this. Now watch what heathens do. Watch what we do to do like heathens do. Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise, a place of practice at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. These place of practices, these learning places. Places where they're going to eat. Where they're going to eat, where they're going to learn. Just like a restaurant, the things what? Of the world, of the heathen, of the flesh, these places of practice, these where they do the religions, the customs, the cultural practices. You hear it so much when people say, we have to go to church. We have to go to this building on Sunday. Why? Because we're Baptist, we're apostolic, we're Lutheran, Episcopalian. We're holiness, oneness. So just like a restaurant, they go in there to eat, which is what? Uncleanliness, that is defiled, what is perverted, those meats, bread, food, and drink. You clearly see the similitude, just like a restaurant. And it goes into it a little bit more in Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 25. Thou hast built thy high place at every head of the way, and has made the beauty, the laws, the precepts, the commandments of God to be hated. It has opened thy feet to everyone that passes by, and multiplied thy whoredoms. In these places, which we went to get licensed to do, to build. Think about that for a second. Many teachers have taught on this, but think on it a little bit deeper. We go into these places and we can sit down and order everything on the menu, because what they are serving will kill you. They don't care who serves it or who cooks it, who prepares it. Teachers have many here have said, well, we don't, we all we do is just serve you what has been prepared by Christ. We're the servers, we're the waiters. The sisters are like the waitresses when they're communicating with other sisters. They're just giving you what Christ gave. But in these places, just like a chef, see, Christ doesn't cook in these places. He hasn't prepared no bread of life. He hasn't baked no bread of life in these places. He hasn't given you drink to gain knowledge in these places, because he's not in there. So just like a chef that is in a restaurant, he doesn't cook in these places. He's not in there in a building made with hands. Nor his servants, nor his waiters or his waitresses. Serving you anything to eat in there either. So if Christ is not there, how can you be eating, learning holy food, clean food, sanctified food? So if the chef is not clean, how can you eat clean food? Satan and his angels, his messengers, they are the ones operating that place where you sit and dine. Just like a 5-star restaurant, just like a Michelin certified restaurant. Do you know a Michelin star is the highest in the culinary? A Michelin restaurant? That's the best of the best. This is where people are going to eat. The best of the best among the world. Where it be in Atlanta, Texas, New York, California, no matter the location, that's the best of the best. Because they're so big, they're so edifice, they're so, my goodness, look at all the people that go in there and dine. That's what you gotta look at it as. They go in there and dine. The food in here must be great. But it says this in Acts chapter 7, verse 48. Howbeit, the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands. Full thought, as said the prophet, heaven is my throne, earth is my footstool. What house will you build me? That's a question. What would you build me? Where I go into. Where my spirit is to be into. Are we going to the architect going to structure it this way? The scaffolding and the foundation, all this, my goodness, it's going to sit all these different people and look at the stage where we can perform. We can do Christmas pageants and Christmas plays and all these different things. We're going to put the Christmas tree right here in this corner. We're going to do all these different things. And the people come in there and they sit and they sit and they order what they want on the menu. We're going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to show you the menu that is of the restaurants of Satan. It says, what house would you build me? Said the Lord. Or what is the place of my rest? Have not my hands made all these things? Didn't his hands make the gravel, make the dirt, make the everything that you're coming up, make the wood? Haven't my hands made all these things? You're going to make me something and I'm the one that made it. I made the grass. I made the dirt. The water that you use to mix the cement with. My hands made all these different things. Let's go to Hebrews, because we're going to show you that Christ is not in there either. Christ is not there. Hebrews 9:24. Real quick. Because I got to lay this, I got to put this in place. For Christ is not entered to holy places made with hands, which are the figures of the true. First full thought, but unto heaven itself now to appear in the presence of God for us. So if Christ is not entered, he's not there. And you cannot tell that lie, well, I'm taking him in the building. How can you take him in the building if he's not there? If he's not even in you? If he's not in those so-called preparing you the meal that you're supposed to eat? I'm trying to paint this similitude as simply as I can. In order to be a chef, I can speak on, in order to be a chef, you have to have a culinary degree. You have to be what? Certified. You have to be rigorously trained. So if Christ is not there, preparing food, this doctrine, these principles of precepts and commandments and statutes, if he's not there, how is it of God? If Christ is not there, that means what? He said he doesn't enter. So that means it's what? It's empty. It's just an empty building. Many people are empty of Christ. He's not in them. neither in the building. Job, let's go to Job chapter 3. 3 and 14. He says, with the kings and the counselors, these counselors of the earth, with kings, these rulers and counselors of the earth, flesh, which built desolate places for themselves. They build them for themselves. They wanted these places built for themselves. Why? Look at the church of Christ. They put fancy titles and names on the places. Look at this building. Look, the place of so-called worship. Mine is bigger than yours. We don't want nothing on no little storefront, no little hole in the wall. No, we're going to build a bigger place. To give you a little story, my wife and I was learning, we were eating in one of those detestable restaurants, and the person we was learning from was, I think his name was Michael Bailey. Google his name. Google Michael Bailey. Google. Elder Johnson and his wife know him. Google him. Michael Bailey. He calls himself a Hebrew teacher of the, no, he's a Hebrew teacher of the Christian belief. YouTube him. Google him. That's what he says. He's a Hebrew teacher of the Christian belief, or the Christian teacher of the Hebrew faith. Something like that. Mixing in both. And what he did was, because my wife know how I am, and we shared a story with Elder and his beautiful wife, and when we was in the Passover, and he wanted the location where he wanted a bigger location. So he got it, because he said there was those that contributed more than $1 million. Think about that. So when they started asking for money and stuff, I got up out of there. Because something just didn't click right. With me, if it don't click right, see, I'm not an emotional man. I'm a man that's of logic and reason. So that's pretty much how I kind of like go about certain things. I don't let my emotions get involved. I go about logic and reason. So it didn't appear to me something was wrong about this. Because I'm like saying, if you a Hebrew teacher, why are you sounding so much like a Christian? But he says it when he does his teaching. It's on YouTube. Or no, not Michael Bailey, Arthur Bailey. My bad. Let me correct that. Arthur Bailey. Arthur Bailey. That's his name. Arthur Bailey. And he got it. A new location here in Charlotte. A bigger, better location. Because what? He wants to compete with Christians. Now look at my building. It cost more. It cost more than $1 million. Never been there. Just heard about it. Heard about the design and how he was going to build it and all that. He was telling everybody. When we sit down after, sit down and we talking and communicating with people and fellowshipping when I was there. So I'm saying this, that with the rulers and the councils of the earth, which built desolate places they do it for themselves. Because remember, he is the God of life, not the God of death. God doesn't feed you death. He feeds you life. Mark 12. Pick me up in verse 27. It says, he is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. Ye therefore do greatly err. You err when you go into those restaurants. You err when you go into those buildings to feed, to dine, and to drink on that which is death. See, Satan feeds you death. Satan feeds you carnality, things that are earthly, temporal. His menu, see, and not only when they go in, it's like a restaurant. The comparison is just like, because after they feed you what you want, after you order what's on the menu. So the spirit of the individual, what they desire of the flesh is on the menu, and you go in there, you're gonna order it. These places where you go and eat. Let's go to Galatians. Let me show you. We want to show you what's on the menu. Show you what's on the menu. Galatians 5:19. It says, now the works of the flesh, which are these? The works of the flesh are manifest, made known, which are these. Now watch what we order. Watch what's on the menu in the restaurants of Satan. Hey, welcome to the Church of Christ of non-denominational. Here, have a seat. Oh, thank you. What would you like to order today? Well, today, since we know that God loves the sinner, but hates the sin. Oh, yes, most definitely. Most definitely. I like a sermon on that. Coming right up. Would you like a appetizer, an entree, and a dessert? We have a special going. And then afterwards, they're gonna take the plate and pass it around. You got to pay for it now. You go in there, you got to pay for it. You got to pay what you eat. You can't dine and dash. You can't dine and dash. You got to pay for it now. We take Apple Pay. We take Cash App. We even the pastor even takes cash. Oh, really? Yes. Let me look at what's your specialty today? Okay, let's look at the special today. Let's look at the special that they're gonna serve today. Oh, we have our specialty today with adultery. Would you like fornication? Would you like uncleanliness? Would you like lasciviousness? Oh, we have a special sauce of lasciviousness. It's a special sauce. It has a special aioli sauce for lasciviousness. That sounds tasty. Idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings. You can all order it on the menu. Sit down. Have a seat. Let me show you this in Romans. Show you this in Romans chapter 14. 14:21 gonna say this. He says, Romans chapter 14, verse 21. It is not good to eat, it is not good neither to eat, to learn flesh, nor to drink, gain knowledge, drink wine, or anything whereby a brother stumbles or is offended or is made weak. Carnal faith of the flesh is carnal doctrine of death. This is not what we should learn. This is not what we should eat. It doesn't strengthen you. Your belief and your hope in. Do not learn of, do not eat it. It is not good to eat. And so many put their faith and their hope in the teachers that teach carnality in those buildings. That's why they're so packed. And as soon as you come in, they're ready to serve you what you want. They hand you the menu. Have a seat. Sit down. What do you want? You want an appetizer? You want an entree and a dessert? Oh, we got it all. They got it all in there. Romans 8 and 6. Start at verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. That's why they go in there. But they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, full thought, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. For God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. John 4 and 24. So he said what? He's the God of life, not death. To be spiritually minded is life. So you need to eat on that which is spiritual, that which is profitable. Watch this. Verse 7. For the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is neither subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. That's why they hoard his beauty, his laws, his precepts, his commandments. Because what? Because the carnal mind is enmity against God. The carnal mind is separated from God. Watch this in Psalms. Keep that thought. Keep that right there. Psalms 141. That's where I'm going to go. Psalms 141 and 4. He said, incline not my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men that work iniquity. They're in there cooking it up. They're in there cooking it up. Ding, ding. Order up. We have an order of fornication. Ding, ding. Order up. Let's serve them up some fornication. It's all right to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend and still come to church. Sit right in the pews next to each other. Saturday night they was committing fornication, but they right up in the pews Sunday morning. They right up in the restaurant sitting down eating. Satan up there cooking it up, and here come his servants. Satan, his angels of light coming in with it. It says, incline not my ear to anything to practice wicked works with men that work iniquity, and let me not eat. Those dainties, they're dainties. Those worldly pleasures, those things of the flesh. You see the menu right here. Galatians chapter 5, verse 19. Those things of the flesh. All right there on the menu. They teaching once saved, always saved. Jesus is God. Jesus is God? Well, let me have an order of Jesus is God. Okay, here we go. We're gonna serve you up some fornication. Spiritual fornication. You go in there, he's just giving you up those carnal pleasures, these temporal and carnal substances, not that have no value at all. And let me show you this in 1 Samuel. Let me show you this in 1 Samuel. Let's go to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 21. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verses 3. It says, watch this when David came to the priest. He said, now, therefore, what is that under thy hand? What is that under thy hand? Now watch his answer to him. Watch his answer to him. He said, give me 5 loaves of bread in thy hand, or what there is present. And the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread. There is no common bread under my hand. There is no common bread under my hand. Meaning what? There is no common bread under my hand. There is nothing that is common. There is nothing that is common under my hand. Meaning what? There is nothing of the same belief, same doctrine, same faith. God loves the sinner and hates the sin. That's a common belief. You can do whatever you want and he still loves you. He said, but there is hollow bread. There is hollow bread. That's what's there. Let me show you this. There is sanctified bread, sanctified doctrine. Full thought, providing the young men have kept themselves, at least from women, from spirit. Let's go to Matthew. Matthew chapter 6, verse 9. He said, now after this manner, therefore pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy way. See, those of the world are going to eat that common bread. That's what they're going to eat. See, God's word is not common. God's word is not common. So you can't mix or put holy with common. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. It says, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion have light with darkness? And what concord have Christ with Belial, with Satan? Or what part have he that believeth with an infidel? What concord, what agreement have Christ with Satan? So if we are to be that holy people, we need to be eating on the holy bread. See, when they go into them places, there's nothing holy there. Christ is not there. His servants are not there. But what they eat is of the world. It's of the flesh. Let me show you this in Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 8. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Forethought, feed me with food convenient for me. And that's going to take us right to John. Let's go right to John, chapter 6. John chapter 6, verse 48. Feed me with food that's convenient for me. John 6 and 48. Not that common bread, not what's of the world. That common doctrine. 6 and 48 reads, he said, I am the bread of life. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. Verse 50. Verse 50. This is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man or woman may eat thereof and not die. For I am the living bread which came down from heaven. Providing any man or woman, learn of this bread, this doctrine, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give him is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. But we go into them places and want to eat devil's food. That's what we want to eat. We want the contents of flesh and of sin. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 21. We go in and have a seat and sit down at the plate at the restaurant of Satan. It says what? He said, ye cannot. He's saying something. He's making a blatant, clear statement. You cannot drink. You cannot gain the knowledge of the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. That's what many do. They want the best. They want both worlds. You cannot. They're serving you. They're giving you the contents, the abundance of the things of the flesh and of the world. He said, you cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table, the abundance of devils. The Lord's table is the abundance of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and the oracles and the commandments. All these things are at the Lord's table, but at the table of devils. The abundance of things of the world and of the flesh. And what's in their cup? Their faith, their belief is poison. Their wine is poisonous. Their faith, what they teach is poison. It's corrupt to drink. The knowledge that you gain when you go into them places, it's killing you. Let me show you this in Isaiah. Let me show you what I mean. Isaiah 28. Isaiah 28 verse 7. It says, but they also have erred through wine and through strong drink are out the way. Full thought. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. Full thought. It's not good for you. It's killing you. We sit there at the table of devils and we're drinking it up. We're taking the knowledge of what they give, the false prophets. They err in vision. They stumble in doctrines and teachings, in judgment. For all tables are full of vomit. Full of vomit. Full of vomit. All the tables full of vomit. Full of wrongdoings and iniquity and sin. Full of vomit and filthiness. There is no place clean. So why do we continue to learn of it? Why do we continue to consume it? We continue to go into those restaurants of death, eating up, learn up everything they have to offer. He said no place is clean. And we've defiled ourselves with this. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Watch what he said. He said, know ye not that you are the temple of God and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? You're the temple. You're the temple. Not some building made with hands. You're the temple. You're the temple. Verse 17. If any man defile the temple, God, you defile the temple already. Because you've consumed, you've learned of the flesh. Any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. Full thought, for the temple of God is holy. I just showed you in Matthew 6:9. Hallowed be thy name. Be ye holy, for I am holy. You're supposed to eat that hollow bread. That's the bread you ought to be eating. That's the bread we ought to be consuming. But what have we done? What have we done? We've defiled. We have defiled our temple by continuing to consume it. Leviticus 20. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 20. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 7. He says, sanctify yourselves. Because what? If you're a holy people, you're supposed to be eating that hollow bread. Sanctify yourselves, therefore, and be ye holy, for I am holy. Because you can't mix common bread with hollow bread. You defile your temple by what you've learned. You've defiled it. You've learned that which is unclean, which is corrupt. That's what is polluted. And what they teach you would not strengthen or satisfy the spirit, but only the flesh. It's not good for you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go to Judith. Go to Judith. Judith chapter 11, verse 12. It says, for their victuals, their food, faileth them. And all their water is skank. They have determined to lay hands upon their cattle and purpose to consume all those things that God had forbidden them to eat, to learn by his laws. What is one of those things? One of those things is forbidden. Is what? The blood with the flesh. The lifestyle with the flesh. It's like, let me give you this example. Let me give you this analogy. It's like many of you are, I'm sure if you eat a piece of fried chicken and you bite into it and you see the blood, you're going to say this chicken is not cooked. I see that the blood is here. The blood is in it. Who cooked this chicken? They don't know how to cook chicken. They don't know how to fry up some dang chicken. So you know it wasn't safe to eat. Once you realize, you throw it away. Why? Why? Because you can get ill. Maybe even die from it. You can get salmonella, E. coli. Some of these diseases are in the blood. It can kill. So to learn of the lifestyle of the blood and the flesh, it kills. That's the analogy of when you go into a restaurant. If the food is not properly prepared, it will kill you. Many eat of it not knowing that they're killing themselves when they go into those places, when they go into those buildings made with hands. Many are to this day still ill and sick, full of iniquity and sins. And they're feeding it to you. They're feeding it to you. It says what? It says, for their visuals fail them and all their water is skank. And they have determined to lay hands upon their cattle and purpose to consume all those things that God has forbidden them to eat, to learn by his laws. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let me show you this in Deuteronomy chapter 12. Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 23. He said, only be sure that thou learn not the blood, a lifestyle, for the blood is in the life. And thou mayest not learn of the life with the flesh. There it is right there, Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 23. And thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. Let me show you this in Sirach. Sirach chapter 23. Sirach 23 and 6. He said, let not the greediness of thy belly nor the lust of the flesh take hold of me. And give not over me thy servant to an imputed mind. Many have an imputed mind. Many have an imputed mind. Many are greedy. Many we had this imputed mind. We don't have this lack of understanding, this foolish mindset. That's what we have. Many of us are. You hear the teachings all the time. How we're saying, don't go to these buildings. Don't go to these buildings made with hand. We hound on it every so often, and I'm hounding on it again tonight. We so hard-headed. We so stubborn, so stiff-necked, so prideful. But yet we still going to these places, and we're telling you Christ is not there, but yet people still go. When we're trying to tell you they're killing you. You're killing yourselves every time you walk into the door and you eat what they have to serve you. As I wind down, let's go to Sirach 35. Sirach 35 and 18. He said, the Lord will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient. Nor will the mighty be patient toward them till they have smitten in asunder the loins of the unmerciful and repaid vengeance to the heathen, full thought, till he have taken away the multitude of the proud and broken the sepulchre of the unrighteous. Let's think about these things. Let's tell our loved ones and family members to stop going up into those restaurants of death. They are killing you. And what they're serving of the flesh is food to die for. This is Elder T, and I'd like to say shalom.